So the wood element. This is from a book called Advice from a Tree. And the wood element is sometimes referred to as tree, or the Chinese call it mu, M-U. And my Tai Ji instructor, Sung Liang Huang, he refers to it as wood wind. And Janice Reinhardt showing you in the wooden instrument of the flute. He believes that when the wood element is pure, then we can make music, okay? And so just like a flute, if it's clogged up, you have to clean it out, right? So make beautiful music. Advice from a tree. Dear friend, stand tall and proud. Sink your roots deeply into the earth. Reflect the light of your true nature. Think long term. Go out on a limb. Remember your place among all living things. Embrace with joy the changing seasons, for each yields its own abundance. The energy and birth of spring, the growth and contentment of summer, the wisdom to let go like leaves in the fall, and the rest and quiet renewal of winter. Feel the wind and the sun and delight in their presence. Look up at the moon that shines down upon you, and the mystery of the stars at night. Seek nourishment from good things in life, simple pleasures, earth, fresh air, and light. Be content with your natural beauty. Drink plenty of water. Let your limbs sway and dance in the breezes. Be flexible and remember your roots. Enjoy the view. So, as I said, this is from a book called, this wonderful book, and he's not a Tai Ji person. This is just a man who loved trees. And it's called Advice from a Tree, and it's by Ilan Shamir. Ilan Shamir. So this is one of the books that I invite you to just get a little inspiration for your wood elements. So I'm going to write down some books here. So these are very subjective, some of the books that have inspired me around this element. So this is Ilan, or Ilan, I'm not sure how he pronounces his name. Shamir is the author, and the book, and he's got, this is a journal that I've written in, but the book is actually called Advice from a Tree. Another wonderful book, The Trees and the Plants, because wood element is also all the plant kingdom. This is a wonderful book, a very different look at plants and herbology, and it's called Plant Spirit Medicine. And this is, Elliot Cohen really tunes into the plants and the nature spirits and is able to get in touch with the true nature of the plants and how they are all beneficial for us. So this is Plant Spirit Medicine. Elliot, the author. Elliot, with one T, Cohen. Okay. And I don't get residuals. These, again, are just inspirational books. Another one talking about the emotional nature of doing the exercises. But also he tells a wonderful story of a man who walks in the forest to heal his broken heart. And it's a Chinese book, and it's called Moonlight in the Dark Night. He was very in love with a young woman from a wealthy family, and he was poor. So initially, he went to the father and he says, no, you can't even provide a dowry, because in the Asian countries you would have a dowry. And he said, well, that's okay, I'll go off and I'll work. So he went away and he worked and he worked and he worked and amassed quite a bit of wealth. And then he knew he had enough wealth so that he could woo his beloved. And in the meantime, she had married someone else. And he was brokenhearted. And so he went off to this forest and began to walk in this forest, grieving. Every day he would walk in the forest. And the forest, the trees, healed him. And many of the masters talk about the ability of the trees to heal us, so just by walking in the forest. Now, what he found was that people in the area, when he walked in the forest, they found that the forest got the reputation of healing broken hearts. So pretty soon, everyone was coming around and walking in this forest to heal their broken hearts. But truly, it's not that specific forest. So anytime you really need to grieve and to heal, hopefully, yeah, actually, if you're human, we've all had broken hearts. It's part of life, right? Part of experience, if you will. And so the wonderful thing is that we also have a forest to walk in, hopefully. And if you're, for some reason, bedridden, look at pictures of trees. Bring trees into your environment. Bring plants into your environment. So for some reason you're ill, have your family bring in plants, bring in green things. And this is what we're doing in here, just for the taping, because it's a little bit easier to tape inside. Normally I'd pull you all out and do this all in the forest. Okay. This book I read many years ago, The Way of the Peaceful Warrior. Now, warrior is one of the archetypes of wood. So, and this is Dan Millman. They recently just came out with a book, or excuse me, the movie, the actual printing of the first book. And this is autobiographical. Dan Millman did in 1980. So now we are 2007, many years later. And Dan Millman was an incredible gymnast. And we'll talk a little bit about how wood and athleticism go together and stuff. But his transformation from being overly focused on his own deal is a imbalance of wood. It's getting to the top without taking into account other people. And so as he ends up meeting this man in a gas station who he dubs as Socrates. I don't know if he ever knew his name, but Socrates became his teacher because he had incredible powers that Dan Millman was witness to.